All right, welcome back to Untold Gems, guys. We have another guest on the show this week. Her name is Lataia. She's the owner of La Joie de Beauté. Basically, she's an esthetician, but I don't want to do you like any disservice, so I'll let you introduce yourself.
So I own a beauty business slash tattoo business, and I've been doing this now for September. It hit 6 years in September, which
That's
is
Wow,
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
congrats.
it's a long time.
yeah. It's
Damn.
been a crazy journey.
Did you do like any schooling for this, or is this something you just did on your own?
So I started back. Um, I started doing lashes, and it basically just took off from there. I didn't go to like aesthetic school. I kind of just started with lashes and then got really into doing that and then ended up taking courses for everything that I did. I became like a little bit addicted to getting trainings and learning because I hadn't been in school for so long. It just, I was so addicted to learning new things that it was the best feeling ever learning all these things. But I did get trainings. So not actually school, but
Nice.
Still counts. And at this point, how many different services do you offer? Like I know pretty much what you offer, but tell the audience like what exact services do you offer?
oh my God. Okay.
Yeah,
So
because I know it's a lot.
yeah, there's a lot of things. So we'll start with lashes. So I do lashes, I do lash lifts, I do lash tinting, I do brow tinting, brow lamination, brow microblading. I do body services. I do about like 5 body services. Um, I do tattoos. I do tattoos for the lips. I do Oh my God, I do laser
Basically
hair
everything.
removal. Yeah, I basically decided it was never the plan, but when I first started and I started doing lashes, I kind of thought I was always going to do that. And then I decided to just become a one-stop shop because people loved the environment and they liked how comfortable they were. And I just felt like, why not just allow someone to come here and get 4 or 5 things done instead of going to 4 or 5 different places?
Yeah, that's a really good idea to like be able to offer different services. And I'm sure in terms of like making money too, like it helps a lot, right?
100%, yeah.
So, do you have like a separate, like an office space for where you do all of this?
So yeah, I don't I used to work from home. I was home based for 5 years. I started in my like studio apartment, which was really tight.
Mm.
It was crazy. And then basically I slowly, gradually just ended up, having a living room space. And then I had a closed space in my house. And then eventually I decided, I think it was last year, I decided that I'm just going to make the step and get a studio, which was probably
Hmm.
the scariest thing ever, especially with COVID. But it just felt like I needed to push myself a little bit further to see what I'm capable of, even if it doesn't work out.
And which area is it located in, like the studio?
So it's in NDG Westmount. It's near
Mm,
Vendome. So it's in
okay.
like a really big loft building. It's pretty cool. I'm
Yeah, it's really cute.
very proud
Oh,
of
you've
it.
been, Sasha?
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
What did you
Oh,
do there?
on my lashes.
Ah.
Every time I did my lashes, it was with her.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, like, how long did it take for you to get? You said it was last year that you opened
Yeah.
the actual salon. But so how long do you think it took you in your journey? Like for anyone that's listening who wants to, eventually open their own place, how many years do you think it took you to be able to get to that point?
I want to say it,
I
it
guess like
took
4 or 5.
it took me a while. And I think the biggest thing about my journey with this business was that I am such an impatient person. Like when it comes to daily living, I'm so impatient. And the one thing I realized was that when it came to my business, I did everything so slowly. I think I was so afraid to mess up and not, you know, I had so many fallbacks, but it still brought me 10 steps further when I realized what my mistake was. So getting there took really long, but I'm kind of happy that it did because I got to enjoy even the worst moments, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's definitely something that helps, like taking it at your own pace and not going too fast. I think for me, it's helped a lot. And so,
100%.
yeah, I think looking back at it now, it's like, it's a good thing for sure.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people compare themselves to other people, which is really
Oh, for
easy to
sure.
do.
For sure.
It's like almost too easy to do. And when you start doing that, you start losing yourself in what your goal is, you know, because everyone's goal is different, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with social media.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
God,
just want to
it's
touch on
so
that point.
bad.
I want to touch on that point because I know there's a lot of like lash businesses or one-stop shops. Like, I just want to know how hard was it to just focus on your journey and not look around? Because I know the last 5 years, it's been every summer, there's like a new hustle. Sometimes it's people becoming a barber, real estate agent, doing lashes. How you stay focused on saying, this is what I'm going to do? And for you to stay within your niche for 5 years, pretty impressive. Can you talk about the longevity it took to stay focused despite the struggles?
So it was really hard. I think I'm lucky because I started at a point where it wasn't so oversaturated and not everyone was doing it. But I also started at a point where people were getting more interested in it because they realized how easy it was to just take a course, right? So, like doing it, I think what separated me from a lot of people was that I really cared about each client. Like nobody was treated differently, and I really worked hard to become perfect at what I did. And even when I was at my best point, I still thought I wasn't really good enough. So it was hard because I was struggling with myself, realizing like, okay, you deserve to be charging more or, you know, getting more clients. And it's hard when you're changing your prices and you know you started at $60 and now you're doing 100 and you lose half your clients and you're like, well, okay,
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do now, you know? And that's exactly what happened to me. I was charging the bare minimum, and then I decided I deserve to be charging more, and I did, and I lost half my clients, and it was really really rough when I first started. But I think just being so careful with how I executed things and, you know, making sure that things were done perfect. And the problem with today is that you take a 2-day course and then you're out in the world and you're
You're
charging
certified.
$100,
Yeah.
right? And you make a mistake and what are you going to do? You're ruining, for me, it was my name. I never wanted to ruin my name. I think that's like was the biggest thing for me.
No, but I can say like from having experienced actually getting lashes from you, you very are like you are someone that's very like you pay attention to detail, you're very careful and like you make sure I'm okay. And like it's I don't like the first time I ever did my lashes, I don't know if you remember because it was a really long time ago. And I don't do them that frequently, but it's when I travel and stuff. But I remember telling you like these are the best lashes I've ever had. And I was like, what the hell? Because I swear I was always going to like not necessarily cheap people, because sometimes I would actually pay like more than $60 or whatever, and they still weren't like quality lashes, you know? So I think that's what separated you from my experience of actually getting my lashes done. So I noticed.
Thank
I
you.
have, I have a question. This might sound ignorant, but for the fellas listening to this, how do you know what's expensive or not? Because for me, I hear $60, and that's apparently
Yeah,
that's the
we're
low
saying the
end.
prices like we know the
Yeah, that's
prices.
Yeah. So for you, what would be the high end prices? What's the mid tier, and what's the low ends where you have to be wary of it?
So the highest prices right now, like in the industry, at least with lashes, I know for Montreal, there's people charging like 350,
Oh, Jesus.
which is expensive, like
What the
really
hell?
expensive. And I
350
don't
for
mean to like
lashes.
put anyone down, but even for me, I think I'm really good and I charge the maximum of 150.
Mm.
And to some people, that might be expensive, but I've had people come and spend like 120 and get horrible lashes done. And so for $30 more, if you're willing to invest in doing this properly, it's not worth spending $30 less, in my opinion. But $350
Yeah, it's a
is a
bit
lot.
much.
It's
How
a bit
long do these lashes stay on?
Yeah.
like 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
a monthly. It's a monthly.
But if you're
That's
doing
like
something
every
like
2 weeks,
lash
every
lift,
3 weeks.
yeah, 2 to 3 weeks. So
Yeah, but I have this question. This might sound very stupid, but I wanted to know the concept of having like birds on your eyes because I know people have lashes and they look natural, but I have other people you
Oh
go
yeah, that
up and
shit
it looks like
looks
they have like
nasty.
feathers
Yeah.
on their eyes flying away. So can you talk about the process of somebody coming to your chair and saying, I want certain type of lashes? Is there a reason why some people differ on sizes or?
I think a lot of the times people see things on the internet and they assume what someone else has is going to look amazing on them. I'm not that person. I don't do I don't do those types of lashes. I do very natural lashes. And if you're coming to me, it's because that's what you want.
Oh my god.
But I've had clients come in with like they're touching their eyebrows, and that's long for me. Like I don't think I'd be able to do that.
Do you do your own lashes?
I don't. I really wish I did though.
Is it possible
Yeah.
to do that? Like, do people do that?
I've seen people do it, but I don't recommend it because you use
Okay.
tweezers, like really sharp tweezers. So
Yeah, and you can't see. Like you'd have to do one eye at a time with like one eye closed.
not happening.
Yeah, that'd be so scary to do yourself. Oh my god.
Is there a thing that you prefer doing, like tattoos, for example, like anything that you prefer doing more than other things?
I think, I mean, lashes will always be first, and then tattoos 100%. I'm a very creative person, so doing tattoos is something that allows me to express my creativity while at work. But I think lashes will always be something that I love. And I don't know if it's because it's the first thing I started with, but I could do lashes for 12 hours straight, which I do sometimes. And I don't get tired of it. After 6 years, I can't say that I'm fed up of doing it at
Does
all.
it hurt your back a lot? Like I always hear people talking about how it hurts their back and like you have to bend over a lot. How is that experience of like sitting for so long and like bending over? How do you like how does your body feel at the end of your work shift?
I think I'm always, it's crazy, but I'm always running off a lot of adrenaline when I'm at work because I'm so excited to see my clients at the end happy and smile that I don't even focus on that, honestly. Like,
That's
it's
really
like,
good.
it's everything is worth, the
Yeah, it's
pain that
worth
I
it.
have to feel after. I don't know. The excitement is always there because you get to see them get up and look at themselves, and it's a feeling that you can't explain.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fair. Wait, so you said 12 hours? Does that mean like what are your business hours like?
I mean, I try more now to set boundaries, which it's the first year that I'm doing this. So the 5 years before, there were no boundaries. Sometimes I would work like 9 till 10.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, I still find myself doing that sometimes, but it's really if I have a big project or a big tattoo, I'll make exceptions. But I work Monday to Saturday, and on Sundays, I'm still working at home. I do my content, I do all of that stuff. So it's a 24-hour thing, really. But I try when I'm at home to not answer messages, but it's hard. Clients are like, "Why are you answering me at 1 a.m.?" I'm like, I can't stop working. Like, it's hard.
Like, take a break.
I know, it's hard.
Is it just you, or do you have help? Like, do you have other people that do it too?
I don't. It's just me.
Okay. Do you think you can keep that up or like, do you want to just be just you, or I don't know.
Like, how do you scale?
That's what I'm saying.
I think I'm so afraid because this industry is really scary when you invite new people in and then you teach them everything you know. And a lot of the times people don't want to work for someone in this industry. They feel like they can be successful on their own. They don't need someone. And I mean, I worked for someone before when I first started, and that's what made me feel so confident. I had someone hawking over me, telling me, "You're not doing a good job. You have to do better. You have to fix this." I learned that way, and that's what made me improve the way I did. And I think hiring someone, I'm afraid that someone's not going to give 100% like I do, which it might not be fair to think like that, but
No, it's true. We always say like no one's gonna care about your business as much as you. So we always say that like it's so hard to delegate or to like give a part of your business away to someone because they're just not gonna take care of it as much as you would, you know?
That's it. It's really hard to,
no, don't worry about it. We're all in the same boat, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's my goal for 2023. Because, like, as you mentioned previously, it's like we run on 24 hours a day, man. We can't do that for a long time, So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
definitely get a sentiment.
I wanted to ask, how long did it take for you to get to the point where you were able to take this completely full time? Like, were you ever working a job alongside doing lashes? Tell us a little bit about that and how long it took you to really like jump away from a job and just completely do lashes.
So when I first took my course, which was in 2016, I took my first course, my first lash
Um,
course, and I was pregnant. I was pregnant
no way.
and I was broke, broke as hell. Like my boyfriend was working, I was working, and it was just my boyfriend paid for my first course. So he paid for it and I did lashes. I was addicted. I did lashes every single day for a year for free on Family. And then I decided I'm just going to work somewhere because I'm not going to start my own business. That would be crazy. And I worked for someone for 2 months and I got paid $11 an hour.
And this was while you were pregnant?
This was after I had given
Okay.
birth. So I gave
Okay.
birth, I had a newborn, I was in school
Wow.
for accounting, and I was
Damn.
working a part time job, and I was doing clients at home.
Oh my God.
So the juggle was real. I never felt pressure or stress like that ever. It was a really rough time, and we still weren't making a lot of money, so it was really hard. And I remember coming home one day and telling my boyfriend, I feel really depressed and I can't do this anymore. I can't work for $11 an hour.
Yeah.
I'm going to just quit my job. And I quit my job and I had like, I want to say like $500 in my bank account.
Oh my God.
And with half of the money, I bought lash supplies and then I just started taking clients. And that was the last day.
Wow.
Damn.
2017 was the
Wow.
last day.
I
So
love stories like that.
That's the story.
Yeah, I love it.
did you have anyone help you with like your child other than your boyfriend, of course, like family or
My
parents and stuff?
my parents helped me. So
Okay.
I had my dad who was babysitting her while I was in school, and on the days where I was not in school, like where I would finish after school and I wasn't working, I would go pick her up. I would come home, and sometimes I would do night shift for lashes. So I'd come home, drop her off, and my boyfriend was doing overnights at the time. So he was doing 11 till 7 in the morning, and so I was
Mm.
up all night, and then the day would just restart,
Oh
and
my
it
Yeah.
was
God.
crazy.
Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
yeah, it was. It was pretty wild, but it was worth it. It was definitely worth it.
Yeah, like
Can you
these hard
speak?
times always make the best stories, you know?
100%.
Can you speak a bit about how it is having a child and running a business? Because I'm always wondering, like, what's it going to be like when I'm going to have a child running a business? Because I think you can imagine what it is like if you're an employee, because you know how that sort of works. But like being a business owner is different. Like, how does it help you, or is it like, yeah, just explain that a bit.
So when I first started my business and I was working like and it really picked up and I was working a lot. It was like I could never say no to a client. I missed a lot. I missed a lot of key moments in my daughter's life, which was really hard. But I had found two loves. I met her and I gave birth to her, which was like my true love, and then I found my dream job, which I never thought that I was going to find. And it was hard. It's still hard to this day, and I think a lot of people think, well, you get to set your own hours, you get to be your own boss, but it's almost worse because there's no downtime. And
Mm.
every day you have to, you know, book clients and schedule your week in advance and try to book up for the next month. And there's no downtime unless you have people working for you. But even at that, for me, it's, a balance. I don't know if I would say balance exists, but I try to set more boundaries where, I'll say no to a client and I have to finish early, but, you know, it's okay to miss opportunities sometimes. And I think that's what took me a long time to realize, is that
Mm.
if a client really wants to come to see you, they're gonna reschedule.
Yeah, they'll come like another day or
Doesn't
next week or
matter.
something. Yeah.
That's it. But getting your name to that point, it took me what felt like a long time, because at first I was like, I was fighting for clients. I felt like I had to say yes all the time because I didn't want them to feel like they weren't a priority,
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't know I had kids. Now I have two, but at the time, nobody knew I had a kid. That's how much I was just so invested in doing what I was doing. But I don't have any problem saying no now.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you had to restart over, let's say from the beginning again, you know what you know now, would you change something to find more balance or to implement maybe other resources for you to be potentially spend more time with your kids?
I think the idea would be nice, but it definitely, all that time that I spent working made me better at what I did. And I think my daughters seeing me work really hard, sometimes it's hard, but they also see that mommy works and she provides for herself, and she has a business, and they're very young, but they're very proud to say like, oh, my mom has a studio and she does
That's so
lashes.
cute.
And I think it encourages them to realize that like you can do this all on your own and you don't need anybody's help. You just have to stay motivated and push yourself.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nice like thing for them to grow up with. I'm sure it's gonna like they're gonna see you working and it's gonna rub off on them too.
For sure.
But I wanted to ask about like you mentioned earlier raising prices. You said like a lot of your clients left you when you raised your prices. How can you get the confidence to be like enough is enough? I'm just gonna raise my prices. I'm gonna stop like settling for cheap prices, because I feel like I definitely struggle with that sometimes. I feel like a lot of people struggle with that in the beginning of their business, but how can you get the confidence to just go ahead and do it? Can you give us some advice?
So I think the thing is that you're always gonna have people that want to pay less.
For
It's
sure.
normal,
For sure.
like it's just a part of a business. If you tell someone I'm gonna give you $10 off, they're not gonna say no. It's like it's normal, everybody wants a deal. But the thing is that sometimes you realize that certain people just want this done. And if you want something bad enough, you're gonna pay to get it. It doesn't matter how much it is. You're going to save your money. You're going to, put money aside to do it. You have to want it. And if you don't want it bad enough, well, then it doesn't matter if you raise your price by $2, that person's going to leave eventually anyways.
Yeah.
So raising it cancels out the people who, were doing it just cuz. So you never feel afraid to raise your prices. I'm finally raising my prices after 2 years, and I'm still nervous.
Yeah.
And I know my clients are going to be like, okay, it's not a big deal, but it's going to cancel out the people who never really wanted it to begin with.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, but it's true. Like I remember going I went to so many lash artists when I was younger, and I would pay like $60, which was like the cheapest price point that you could find. And then sometimes I would try like the $80 ones or like the $90 ones, and they were like not even good. Like there was no difference. So I was like, why am I paying more? So I got kind of used to just paying $60 and like settling for like not really good lashes. But then I remember, I think it was on a Facebook, like the NDG Facebook group, that somebody referred you to me. And because I was like, where can I find a good lash artist? And that's how I found you. And they were like, oh my God, her work is amazing. And I remember seeing your prices, and I was like, oh, it's a little bit expensive. But I was like, you know what? I'm tired of going to like having bad experiences. So I just went, and like so not only were your lashes really good, but I think you did them in exactly like 1 hour. And I was so used to going people who did them in like 2.5 hours. I'd be sitting there for like 3 hours. Like I just wanted to cry. So I think people will pay for like the quality, and so you definitely shouldn't be afraid to charge for the quality that you can offer, because the people who do experience the quickness of it, the quality, they're going to be willing to pay more.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I found too that like the more you raise your price, the better clientele you work with as well. So like it
100%.
makes your life easier
Yeah.
as well.
You get those clients that are just willing to pay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
want, really.
And they're easier to deal with too, like usually.
100%. Yeah.
But did you have any bad experiences, or did you ever like fuck up or make like a mistake, like for tattoos, for example? Like, do you have any of those stories?
I unintentionally I did not make this error. Oh my god, this is bad. So I had a client come in and she had given me a date, and dates are tricky, like especially if you. I made her look at the date like 6 or 7 times because I was like, you have to make sure that this is right. And it turned out that the date was wrong that she had given me.
Oh, she
no.
gave you a wrong.
Really bad. Felt so bad.
Yeah, it's not your fault at the end of the day.
Yeah, so thank God it wasn't my fault, but yeah. Yeah, it was,
Yeah, that sucks. I would feel so bad. Oh my god.
yeah,
Oh,
I felt for her. I was like, fuck.
But there's tattoo removal. Like she can get it removed.
And I do removal, so it's
Oh, there you go.
let's
There you go.
go.
2 for 1.
But where did you learn how to do tattoos? Was that also, did you take courses for that, or was that just like freestyle?
So I started doing tattoos. Oh, so I started drawing tattoos when I was 12. My dad's
Wow.
friend owned a shop, and so I would do sketches for him because I really like drawing. And then when I was 16, I started tattooing.
Wow.
Probably
What the
not the best idea, but I did it anyways. I had very stupid friends, clearly, who were just willing. And then I had stopped because I just felt like it was it kind of scared me a little bit, thinking that, okay, am I going to go into my career at like 17, 18? So I stopped doing tattoos. And then I restarted about 3 years ago, and I haven't stopped since. I think it helps that I do makeup tattoos and I have the hand for it. So it came really easy as I got older. But yeah, it's I'm pretty much self-taught. So
That's far.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Damn.
So we had an episode once where we were talking about like different side hustles you can do, and I was like, guys, what about like beauty stuff? I was like, lashes, all of these things, because I find they're like, it's quite easy to do the courses for them. Obviously, like I actually did a lash course back in the day, by the way, but I literally, after I did the course, I never went to go practice. I kind of just
That's a lot of people, though.
yeah, like so many people do the lash course and just
Yeah.
don't do anything with it, because it's like you expect like after the 2-day training that you're like, okay, I can start lashing, but you really can't. Like you actually need to go practice for, like you said, you practiced for a year on your family, so it takes really like a lot of time. But like what's the best way that someone can get started? Because like I said, we were talking about this in another episode where I was like, guys, you can just start like a beauty business. What's the best way that somebody today do you think can get started in the beauty industry when it comes to like either lashes, tattooing, microblading, whatever?
I think the main thing that I would say to anyone is make sure that you're still working and you're practicing all the time, because with lashes, it's something that you're going to feel so confident. You're going to do like 3, 4, 5 clients, and then you're going to get a client that's so different. And it's happened to me so many times when I first started, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Like,
Is it like their eye shape is different?
everything, their eye shape, their lashes, they have 3 layers of lashes instead of 2 layers of lashes. And it's just like, and it takes you like, it used to take me sometimes like 3 hours to do a set. And then they would get up and I'd be like, there's not that many lashes on there. It took me it took me a while to get to that point where I felt like, wow, that's a full set. But the more you practice, the better you're going to get at it. And I tell that too. I also teach lashes. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that next.
yeah, I teach lashes, and I think it helps because I love it so much that like my course is 2 months. So
Oh wow, that's so much better than like 24
2
hours.
days. I don't understand that. So my course is 2 months.
Well, that's
How-
really nice of you to like put that much time into them.
Yeah.
How much is the course?
So my course is 3,000.
Yeah.
And I do it over. And the best part about the course is that eventually, after 10 clients, I start charging very low and I give them money back so that they can, buy their lash products once they leave. They have money to like buy lashes and buy glue. And I supply them the clients.
Okay, so they're able to practice for those 2 months on different, like on clients with you.
Yeah, at my studio. So they come in, they have a room to themselves in the back, and I basically watch over them.
Yeah.
So I correct their mistakes. I talk to them after and tell them, this you could have done differently. And that's how they get better, because when you don't have someone watching you and guiding you, there's no way for you to know that you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, when I did the course, I was like just putting lashes on like a fake mannequin or something. And I was like,
Exactly.
I was like, oh, this is so easy. And then like I was trying to think about actually doing it, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So I just basically gave up.
Yeah, but the thing is too, is doing it, like a lot of people don't realize, but doing it on someone, if they're moving, if their eyes are twitching, if they're just like being impatient, you feel all of that through their eyes. They're like fluttering and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to do this for 2 hours?
Yeah, I don't like, I feel like it must be so scary too, because like if they imagine they just like move and then like you poke them in the eye or something, like I'm always so afraid.
I've had clients just jump up, like literally lift themselves up middle of the session. And I'm like,
Why?
I'm holding like the sharpest tweezers ever. This is scary.
No, but you know what sometimes happens to me? Sometimes I'm like about to fall asleep and I'm like, oh my God, if I actually fall asleep, I'm gonna end up moving, you know? So I'm like fighting to stay awake sometimes. That always happens to me when I do my lashes. Ugh. But yeah, so you were saying it's 3,000 for the course and it's a span of 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, that's a really good deal because I think I forget how much I had paid for the 2-day course, but it was I think it was like 1K, which it goes to show the quality of the two different courses, you know. So if people really want to have like an in-depth training where they're actually going to be able to practice and learn, then that's for sure worth it.
So you basically do teach people, like you've taught people how to do what you do. So I think if you ever needed to hire someone, it wouldn't even be that hard if that's what you chose to do, because you already know how to teach people.
True, like you
Yeah.
could hire the people that you teach technically.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. I think that's my next step in owning this business is I know that eventually if I want to move forward, I need to hire people because I can only do so much as one person.
Yeah.
It's great to feel like I get it, everything has to be done 100%, but I'm slowly starting to accept that, not everyone is going to have the same love and passion that I do, but as long as the quality's there, that's all that matters.
Yeah. I have a bit of a boring question, like the accounting part of your business. How's that going?
Yeah, you said you took accounting school, like you were learning.
I did, yeah. So I was in accounting school, so it definitely helped. But I hired someone. I'm very good at bookkeeping, but at a certain point, I don't want to bookkeep.
Yeah, I feel you.
I could do it. I don't want to. It's not
So
fun.
you have an accountant that bookkeeps and like files your taxes as well?
She does everything.
Okay,
but I'm
that's
very
fair.
organized, so I just hand her my papers, color coded, everything is good, and she handles it. I'm not an accountant, and I don't want to be.
Nice. Yeah.
Easier like that. There's some things you pay people to do. It's easier.
Nice.
Yeah, I always say like that's the one thing that I just really despise about owning a business is the fact that you have to kind of learn the accounting side of things, and I just would rather not look at them at all. So it's just so much better to just hire someone.
Yeah,
But the next thing I wanted to ask was how can someone or I'll ask you from your experience, what was the best way to promote your business? Like where did you find the most clients when you first started? And now too, like where are you able to find new clients?
So, I mean, Instagram is definitely a great source. TikTok has been
I was about to say I see you on TikTok.
insane. I'm enjoying TikTok. And for me, I'm happy to say that most of my clients are word of mouth.
I was gonna ask you that. Like I was gonna ask because so many people say that ends up being the best way that their business gets like promoted, and that's how I found you. So it's crazy. It's so crazy how that's like the main, like that's why your quality of what you do has to be really good, because
Yeah,
yeah,
100%. I think too, any picture can look good on Instagram.
for
You can
sure.
edit it, you can do whatever you want to the photo. But having someone see you in person and compliment you on your lashes or your brows,
Yeah,
that is the best. Like, it's a walking ad basically, and
you're
it's
right. Yeah.
kind of free, right? So that was definitely the best. It's obviously great to use social media and I love it, but it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
Social media. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
I
your
just want. Yeah,
go
go.
Cho. Go.
I was gonna ask, with people having to make tough decisions, we had an episode last week talking about grocery spending and how that's becoming a more of a big topic. Where people have to make big cuts to their budget, how do you plan on advancing in 2023, 2024 if people have to cut on the lashes or other aesthetics? Do you have like a strategy in place if that's the case, or?
I think in this industry, girls are willing to
Girls will go
not
in debt for their
to
lashes.
buy less groceries and spend more money on themselves. And I think with how women are becoming more like treat yourself and take care of yourself, and by doing what I do, that's a huge part. A lot of people have, I mean, and I hear it every day, like, oh, I'd rather not spend money on going out and I'd rather come see you for services, which is crazy, but that's real world for you. But no, I think also, I mean, I always have promotions too. I always try to keep, you know, keep that fair too for students. I have student prices.
Nice.
So I try to be, my prices are not too high, I think. So I think compared to certain people, it's not, it's not overpriced. So hopefully that helps people, you know, who are struggling a little bit. But I always give discounts. I think that's one thing that I've always tried to do. Try to understand people's situations. So
Well, what's your tattoo rate? Like, how much do you charge for tattoos?
so it really depends. Like for smaller tattoos, yeah, it really depends on the size, but my starting is about 60, 70. And of course, I have a lot of clients that come in and want like 8 or 9 tattoos. They want smaller ones, and I always give a deal. So, you know, example, I had a client that came in the other day and she did 10 tattoos or 11. And the smallest one, which was like the size of a penny, was like $30. So it's not so bad. And for all, I want to say for all 11 tattoos, it was $350. And we did her whole hand. So
That's fine.
like, you know, and I have people, I have many tattoos, and the prices, I try to compare prices too, right? Like competitive pricing is a huge thing. So knowing what other people charge around you is a good way to kind of stay in touch with what you can get away with charging, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Charl, do you have any tattoos?
Nope. I don't.
Oh, none of us have tattoos. We're
I don't
so
think so.
boring. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I was gonna say none of us have tattoos.
None of you guys have?
Honestly, I'm so afraid of commitment. Like I'm just so afraid to get something on my body and then regret it. Like that's my biggest
Sure.
fear.
For sure.
Oh, because I have some friends and like my sister and like people, like just people around me who are like, oh, I regret this tattoo, or like I wish I did this, and I'm like, I know myself too much, like with the way that I change what I like, that if I get something like this year, in 2 years, I'm not gonna like it anymore. So I don't know if I could ever commit to a tattoo, to be honest.
I get it. I totally get it.
How many tattoos do you have?
I stopped counting after I
Oh
did
my
my
god.
sleeve. I
I
did my
never
whole
even noticed you
arm.
had a sleeve. I never even noticed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, you have a full sleeve?
Yeah, here, I'll show you guys. I mean, you might not be able to see the whole thing, but
Damn.
so yeah.
How much did that cost?
So my boyfriend's cousin owns a tattoo shop, and I want to say half of my tattoos were free.
Oh wow.
So I got really lucky. because it was his cousin and he gave most of them to me for free. But I want to say in total, like with the most recent ones, and I guess the ones that I've probably spent over like $4,000 on tattoos.
Holy
Mm.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're expensive.
See, I don't know if I can ever go there for the commitment reasons and also the money. Like, I
The
don't know.
money.
I don't know. But I was gonna ask something, but I forgot.
Where are you from originally? Like your ethnicity?
Like where my parents are from.
Yeah.
So my father is Jamaican Chinese, and my mom is Italian and French.
Mm.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Mix.
that's a really nice mix.
Yeah, thank you.
I always wanted to ask you, but I always forgot. But
Do you speak any of those languages?
So last year I decided that I'm finally gonna start learning Italian, and I didn't finish my course, but I'm gonna restart it in the winter. So I'm doing Italian and Jamaican. I don't really know what I would call what my dad speaks. It's not patois. But I understand when he talks. But French, yes, I speak. But yeah, I'm learning Italian. So
have you been to Italy or Jamaica?
I have. I go to Jamaica usually every year because we have family there. In Italy, I've been also. Yeah.
I think Jamaica is like my favorite place that I've ever been. Well, in terms of the beach, like the beach was so beautiful.
And the food.
And the sand, oh my God. Ugh. I wasn't there for long enough to experience like the food and everything, but the beach, oh my God.
The beach is really nice. But the food, if ever you go back, go for the food. The food is so good.
Yeah, I bet. Ugh, I always hear that. I remembered what I wanted to ask. So I remember one time we were talking about like going out and stuff like that, and I was saying how it's so hard to be like to not be distracted by like friends. How do you stay focused in like growing your business and like not getting distracted of like going out too much and I don't know, waking up hungover and stuff like that? Like, how do you stay focused on your business and are able to manage it all yourself and, you know, not feel like FOMO, like you don't fear of missing out? How do you manage that?
So I'm gonna start like back a little bit. So when I was younger, I used to smoke a lot of weed, like a lot of weed, like too much. And so when I started doing my business and I started finding myself, I guess you can say, and I remember smoking for the first time and bawling my eyes out because I felt super out of body, which I hated that feeling. And I know that when I was younger, I would smoke a lot because I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, as I got older, I realized that I really like who I am. And I don't need to feel any different than how I feel now. So I think letting go of those things and, you know, going out and not drinking. And a lot of people look at you like, you're not going to drink? Like,
Yeah,
what's
facts.
wrong with you? Like, you're not going to have fun? And I'm like, I am having fun. I'm eating. Like, I'm eating, I'm chilling, I'm talking, I'm having conversations. I don't need to be under the influence to have a good time.
I love it.
And I realized that even just feeling the tiniest bit of like outer body made me feel not myself, which I hate that feeling now. So it wasn't hard, actually. It wasn't hard because I was okay with not doing those things, and whether people judged me or not, I knew that I can do other things, like, you know, treat myself to going out for dinner or just being with people who understood, which is kind of hard.
Sure.
I think being a business owner and being like successful in what you do, you kind of realize that unless people are doing the same thing as you, they don't understand you.
Yeah.
And they kind of judge you for prioritizing so much what you do. Like, why are you so obsessed with your business? You know, like, and people, I don't get invited out as much because people are like, oh, we just assumed you were busy. Or
They're
we
like,
just,
oh, Sasha, you're always busy now.
it's always the same thing, you know? So when you start to realize that like your priorities are just different than other people, it's not hard to separate yourself from feeling that FOMO, you know? And I do feel it, but it passes very fast where I'm like, I'd rather just be home, or I'd rather do something simple
Yeah.
and be with people who understand that, you know?
Yeah.
And like, what are your hobbies now? Like outside of lashing, like what do you do for fun? Are you able to like, are you still able to like go out even though you work so much? Like, what do you still do for fun?
So I actually started a little side business where I knit on the side. So I knit
That's so cute and random.
I knit baby clothes. So I
No
figured
way.
that like everyone's having babies right now. Let me just knit baby clothes because why not? I'm home anyways, and I knit everywhere. I knit in between clients. I knit if I'm sitting in my car. I knit when I'm at home. It is like the easiest thing to bring around with me. I knit when I'm at the restaurant sometimes. It's a bit excessive.
That's the cutest hobby I've ever heard.
Are you
When I
selling
pull up
those?
my sorry?
Are you selling them? You said like it's
I
a side.
am.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How are you getting clients for that?
Honestly, I think it's the way I promote myself. I post my kids and the stuff,
Oh,
and
I get
people are
it.
like, "Oh my God, where'd you get that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I made it. I'm selling
Mm.
it for so and so, you know." And
Where
I
do you
think
post it? Where do
I
you post
posted
it?
on my personal page.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm doing it for fun mostly, but when I post it and I do get feedback, I kind of just started telling myself, like, if someone wants to buy it, buy it. If
Yeah,
not,
for
you
sure. If
just
there's a
leave it.
demand for it, why not? And if you like doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I do that. I try to go out with friends every once in a while, to get out and kind of recharge because when you're so focused on work, which is very easy to do, it's easy to forget that you have a life outside of work,
Mhm.
So I've been trying to just spend more time not focusing and fixating on work. I like rent chalets every couple of months.
Oh, it's the
Um,
best. It's the best
yeah,
to recharge just to be around nature and like be in the quiet
100%.
area.
Yeah, which I know it's the first year that I'm doing this, so it still feels
Really?
a little weird. Like it was the first year that I was enjoying my summer. It it's the first year for a lot of things this year. So it was nice to feel like, yeah, I can come out for dinner at like 8 o'clock at night, which is really weird. That's late, guys. I remember
For
telling
real.
my friends, "You want to go for a drink at 9 o'clock?" Do people do that? I think I forget my age too sometimes.
No, I hate leaving the house after 9 p.m. Like if someone
Me
invites me
too.
out, it's after 9, I'm not going.
Too.
Can you pinpoint what's happened this year that you're like making all these changes?
um, like the reason why I'm making these changes.
Yeah, yeah, it seemed like this year you said there's a lot of changes. So like, is there anything specific that happened?
Um, I think I I went through quite a lot of um, traumatizing experiences with loved ones dying and people that were really close to me, thinking that they weren't going to make it. So it kind of scared me a little bit, and I realized that it doesn't matter how much money you have; it's not going to bring back time that you have with the
For
people you
sure.
love.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think it scared me the most, especially when I had people that were like, my parents not doing well and struggling and, losing their home and, just a lot of stuff that scared me. And, again, it's great to be making all kinds of money, but if there's people around you who are not doing well and you never see them, there's no point. It didn't seem worth it, you know?
Mm.
So I kind of just told myself that, it's okay to take a day off in the middle of the week and not go to work and not make money. Um, and honestly, by doing that, I think it brought me more clients. It was weird. It made me realize that I don't need to be working excessive hours to get a certain amount of money because it's going to come. And there's going to be weeks where it's going to be quieter, and there's going to be weeks where it's super busy. But if I fixate on always being busy, I'm not going to enjoy anything else, because that's all I'm going to be thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think having time off will help you like just recharge, and in a way it will help you be able to even work better on your business if you have that time to just
100%.
like relax and actually take care of yourself and actually enjoy life, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
I think like you lose a bit of value when you're too available too. So I think that's maybe where it comes from, where like you become less available and you start getting more clients. It's because like there's less of you, so there's more people interested. If that makes sense.
Yeah, for
No,
sure.
it's true though. It's true.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, the last thing that I wanted to ask you was about YouTube. I know you told me that you wanted to start YouTube, right? Or did you already started YouTube, right?
Yeah, so I started doing just like random vlogs, which I really really like doing, but it's so hard to
All
manage
time consuming,
everything.
yeah. Especially with your knitting business.
Yeah.
You can film yourself knitting.
Yeah.
I know. I wanted to do that too, actually.
I'm sure there's people that would watch like ASMR
yeah.
knitting.
Yeah,
There's a
for
market
sure,
for
for sure.
everything. There's a market for everything, honestly.
But so do you have plans to continue your channel and to like keep growing it? What's your main focus in terms of social media to like, is it mostly TikTok?
So right now I'm enjoying TikTok because I don't fixate on like how many people are coming in. I
Yeah.
think Instagram has frustrated me a lot because I feel like I don't understand the algorithm
It
of
makes
it.
no sense.
No sense at all. I don't understand, like, and I'm I'm an observer. So when I look at people who I look up to, I don't understand how they got to that point. And I want to say sometimes, oh, it's because they started at a good time, or they have the right, the right contacts, or I don't know what it is, to be honest. So I try not to focus on it too much because I think it just stresses me out, and then I wonder, like, well, why isn't my page doing the same? And I don't like falling down that path. It's too much. But
Yeah.
TikTok is good because there's no specific algorithm. Like one of your videos can blow up and one of them could not,
Yeah.
So I think I like it better because people are more interactive on TikTok, whereas people are kind of shitty on Instagram.
For sure.
Yeah.
They're so mean.
Yeah.
Like, people don't want to support certain people.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a lot of people support people they don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but
Facts.
they don't want to support people they know.
Yeah, that they actually
Yeah.
know. It's so true.
It makes no sense, and it kind of makes me mad because I have friends that I've known for years and I've never seen them repost my stuff, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but
Yet on TikTok, everyone's hyping me up. I don't even know
Facts.
people on
Facts,
TikTok,
facts,
but
facts.
everyone's hyping each other up. So I definitely enjoy TikTok a lot more. Instagram, I'm like kind of over it, but I know I have to keep pushing through. And then YouTube is really cool, especially with like all the new stuff that they've implemented with the shorts and
yeah.
all that. I think it's a really cool idea, but I need to be more consistent with YouTube
Yeah,
because
it's so hard to stay consistent.
so hard to edit, and like, oh my goodness, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
really hard.
What's a good type of like TikTok to post? Because I'm trying to get on TikTok. I know like there's so many people that are trying, like everyone's been telling me, Sasha, get on TikTok, get on TikTok. But I'm like, and like I've posted some TikToks, but I don't know how to like just start making content on TikTok. It's like I don't understand the type of content. And everyone keeps telling me like you just have to be yourself. But like, can you give us some advice on like what's a style of video that you found very successful with TikTok?
I think I felt the exact same way that you did when I started TikTok.
It's such a horrible feeling.
I felt so trapped, and I think one thing that I did wrong when I first started was that I found videos that I liked and I tried to recreate them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's what
was
I did.
not a success.
That's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, what videos can I recreate?
Don't do it. Don't do it. It honestly, because you know what? You end up looking back at your videos and you're like, who is that? Because
Yeah,
that's not me. That's
right.
like a completely different person. And that's how I felt. I would look back at them and I'd be like, I put so much effort into a video that is not even who I am.
Yeah.
Mm.
And now, I mean, I'm not afraid to embarrass myself on the internet. I have a lot of, I mean, I have my personal page where I do a lot of fashion, and I'll, I get dressed with the camera and I ask them like what I should wear, and people like feeling engaged, but
Mhm.
it depends what your niche is. And I found focusing on one thing on your account is better than having 500 different things. So focus on one thing.
That's my struggle. I have too many like niches.
That's me. I was like doing 600
Fitting,
things, and I'm like,
lashes.
people are so confused. But I have I have like a family page where we do vlogs,
Oh,
and
that's
then
so
I
cute.
have my business page.
Okay.
And for business, people like people like feeling connected to you. So when you're talking to the camera and you're just letting the camera roll, there's no time for you to be, like, I have to be proper all the time. No, just talk. It's okay if you stumble. People are still listening to you. They don't want you to feel like you're a robot,
I think Instagram scarred all of us because, like, have you ever spoken on your stories? Like, it's so nerve-wracking when you're like talking on your Instagram stories, and like filming a TikTok feels like that for me. But I'm like, I know it's not like that. I'm not like,
No,
I haven't like dived into the platform yet, so I know that it's not like that. But it's like it feels like that at first, you know?
for sure. I think once you get over that fear of feeling like, people are going to judge, I just ramble. That's my thing, is I just ramble. And sometimes I post shit and I'm like, why did I post that? But people are like
Yeah,
so
they like it.
relatable. Oh yeah, wow, I feel the same. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm not the only one, but you have to realize too that TikTok, there's more people who want to just feel relatable. They want to know what you're going through, because chances are you're not the only one,
For
Mm.
sure.
you
Yeah.
know?
What is your TikTok, by the way?
So I have my La Joie de Beauté TikTok where I post my business stuff. And then I have mine, which is my name. So Lataia
Okay.
Lajoie. And then I have like a little family page where, we post our vlogs, and my daughter's doing silly things. And I found it better. I had a TikTok where I was doing everything. And again, I mean, I try not to focus on like the views and all that stuff, but it was getting too confusing, because when you look at TikTok, it finds an algorithm for you, right? So I can have a certain algorithm. On my family page, it's like all moms and kids, and when I'm going through my For You page, that's what it is. And when I do my
Mhm.
business page, it's all business stuff, where it's lashes, and beauty, and so that's kind of how it works. So when you fall into that category, it just kind of, separates it like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I need to get on TikTok. I will eventually.
just do it. I think if you think about it too much, you're never going to do it.
Yeah, that's my problem. Like I've been overthinking it for the past like 2 years, and I haven't done anything. But if I would have been posting random stuff for the past 2 years, I'm sure that it would have taken off by now, you know?
100%. Because again, if you just like at least set little goals for yourself by saying like, okay, I'm going to post one video on talking about like how to start your business or whatever it is, because people like guidance, and again, they like to feel relatable. So just post anything. There's
Yeah,
always going to be someone, I promise you.
I hope so.
There will be.
I just have one last questions, and I guess from now I'm gonna start asking this question. I want you to say your predictions for yourself 5 years from now, so that hopefully 5 years from now you could go back to this video and say, I got some of these right. So if you were to see yourself 5 years from now, where you see yourself going, and how's the business and family life for you?
So I hope that in 5 years from now I have people working for me. And I would love to open up another location. I have friends in the States, and they've said to me so many times that opening up a place in like Brooklyn or
Oh, that'd
in
be super cool.
New York, I think you know, having the business that I have that has everything in it, it's kind of hard not to want to be in a place that just feels, you know, like you can spend the whole day there and come out feeling like a new person. So I think opening up this business in places like that would, you know, help people, you know, who are busy all the time and they don't want to go to 6 different places. I think it could be a success, but it's scary to think that far in advance because you don't know what, you know, what can happen in 5 years from now. But yeah, I hope that at least I hope that I can have a second location and definitely just have people working for me and learning new stuff. I want to make sure that I'm always learning new stuff because that's important to me.
Yeah.
I have two more questions from me. One is just out of curiosity, like how old were you when you had your first child, and like was it expected or was it like unexpected?
No, it was not. It was not
Ah,
expected. I started dating my boyfriend, and 3 months after, I got pregnant.
Wow.
It was very, very sudden. He was 21, and I was 22 when we got pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
and we haven't killed each other yet, so it's a success. 2 kids later, we're still here. So,
Damn.
yeah.
I've never heard like someone like three months together and then they have a child. Like that's crazy. And then you're
Me
still
either.
together, which is it's fire. And the other question was the last question that we usually ask our guests. Okay, so have you heard of the Jay-Z question?
No, I haven't.
No, but everyone knows who Jay-Z is. Just ask the
Yes,
question.
yeah.
Okay, but I need to make sure if they've heard of it. Oh, okay, so you either guess. Why'd you have to roast me like that?
I'm sorry.
So basically,
Because every time he's like, "Have you heard of the Jay-Z question?" But I'm like,
well,
just
I'm
ask.
just asking because what if they knew? What if they heard
Basically,
it?
it's a thing.
You
Like
won't ask it?
there's like a popular like debate online, and they're like, would you choose 500K cash or a dinner with Jay-Z, and why? That's the debate. So what would your answer be for that, and why?
So I think I would choose dinner with Jay-Z 100% because
That's
Oh,
back to
money.
back.
yeah, 100% because you can have all the money in the world and not know shit. Sorry, but it doesn't matter how much money you have if you don't know the way to take or the knowledge, you're not going to be successful with that 500,000. So
Like,
for me, I would choose that because I choose learning from someone who is successful and learning everything that they, you know, the route that they took to get them. Not that it's going to maybe bring me to the same place, but hearing it from someone who's that successful, 100% I would choose being able to sit with him and ask him a million questions over $500,000.
Yeah. Okay, that's fire.
That's a good answer.
great answer.
They say like so many people. I think it's like 80% of people who win the lottery lose all their money within like 1 or 2 years. What's the
100%.
percentage? Do you guys know the percent? Like
I think it's 70%, 70%, 80%.
like some crazy number. Like most people who win the lottery, they end up spending all
Yeah,
their
'cause
money
you
and
don't know what to
they have
do with
nothing to
it.
show
Yeah,
for
but you
it.
don't have you don't have the knowledge. And
So like I
people are
think I'd take
"Oh,
the money, but like I agree with your point that like if you don't know what to do with the money, like what are you really gonna do? You know?
Well, that's
mhm."
it. And it's funny because before I started my business, I remember telling my boyfriend for 2 years that I was going to win the lottery. I would tell him every day, let's go buy a lottery ticket because I'm going to win the lottery. And then when I ended up finding my job, I told him, I think this is it. I think this is what it was. It was
So
the
cute.
weirdest feeling ever. And my boyfriend laughs all the time because he's like, you really thought you were going to win the lottery. And I'm like, but I did though. I kind of did because I didn't know I didn't win $1 million, but I won the happiness that you feel when you win something amazing, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
That's
I love
amazing.
it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's so cute. Oh my god.
Do you still play the lottery?
So we will play it once in a while,
Oh,
like
okay.
if we feel lucky or, you know, but no, I honestly, like, I think after being in this opportunity, I realized that so many people don't feel genuinely happy. And even when I'm going through something that's really rough and that's like heavy on the heart, I still look around and I think if I died tomorrow, I feel like I lived a really full, happy life where
Yeah, and you've accomplished a lot.
I was happy. I feel like I'm genuinely happy, you know?
Yeah.
So I know I will play it once in a while, but I feel very lucky to be living the life that I'm in right now.
Yeah, and I feel like once you find something that is like, or I guess that you enjoy and you're able to live off of it, it's like you don't really feel a need to buy lottery tickets anymore, you know?
Oh,
Yeah,
Mhm.
because you're getting paid doing what you love.
Yeah.
But
that's it. And I mean, I say it all the time. I wish a part of me wishes that I had this feeling and I was super rich. I think I would do it for free because I like seeing people happy. I like seeing them. That feeling is just, it's, I don't know. It's a really crazy feeling that like, that, you know, you can make people happy, you
For
know,
sure.
with
For sure.
something so simple.
Yeah.
So
far, well, I
That
think
was
this
such a
was a
cute
great
episode.
episode. Yeah,
We really
yeah,
appreciate
for
your
sure.
time. Honestly, this was such a good
Sure.
episode. Like
Yeah.
we've had so many real estate people and like Amazon sellers and like more financy type stuff, but I was like, I thought it'd be really, really interesting like idea for an episode, especially because like I said in our side hustles episode, I was like, what about lash artists and like that type of thing. So I was thinking it would be a really cool episode. So I think our viewers are gonna really like it. I really appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It was fun. It was my
Yeah.
first podcast.
You
So
did really good, honestly.
Yeah, it went
You did
very
really
well.
good.
It went very well. Well, thank you
Yeah.
guys for watching Untold Gems. We will see you all next week.
bye.